10 o'clock in the morning, 9/22/22, Tuesday. What I was talking about is comparisons of what I'm seeing to this young puppy on YouTube, this X2, ECKSTOO. And he's constant whining about his video game playing at this point over here. I'm like, shit, I never had that kind of issues. But I'm also watching the damn thing, and I'm having a morbid fascination that this old dog still wants to get back in there with the young pups and show them how it's done. And it reminded me of a Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode I was trying to talk about an audio recording here. Is Dahar Master Kor, who used to be Commander Kor, and retired. And he longed and wanted a field commission and commanding a vessel so he can go out in a blaze of glory. In a mission, in a hit-and-run mission, one ship lost experienced crew. It had the younger officers trying to control it, and they needed an older guy to do this one suicide mission. Kor wasn't given a chance because he was resented by Martok, the Chancellor and also Commander. Kor finally took an opportunity away from Commander Worf to prove himself a Klingon. And he took his ship of the youngsters and he held out 10 ships, leaving the other people to escape. And the ones who actually held resentment changed into deep respect, because the older person earned it. I'm watching this and I'm looking at some of the comparisons being made right now, just watching what's happening with these younger guys playing these games, and I'm like, I could not have been that good. I mean, I was that good a long while ago. And making some of the mistakes they've made, but I had to learn how not to. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And seeing all this was just going back to my glory days when I used to be one of those hot hands. If we had the games now back then, but actually we had the beginnings of those games back then when I was playing them. We had standalones. There was computer magazines coming out, video game magazines. Sometimes they would have walkthroughs. But on the standalones, there was no cheat codes. It's you and wrist power. Slapping the shit out of the damn controls. Surprised he didn't break the damn games. They must have gone through rigorous testing before they got shipped out. I wonder how many of those damn things got broken by the kids, because they poured more energy than the machine had. A broken joystick means everything. A broken button means everything. Because those controls were fire, thrust, direction. That's all you had. Fire, thrust, and direction. And if you've broken those damn things, even the damn specialized controls that they had, became so damn good after that. Ship it out to the manufacturer, get yourself another game. Either replace the old one with a newer version, or get a refurbished, or get a different game altogether. Start over. The joys of that. Eating quarters left and right. Becoming more and more broker and dealing with your parents. But we didn't have any cheat codes during that time. We played them like that. Atari's, Sega, other companies come out with their own platforms. Some of them actually did have cheat codes in them. You press certain codes on a Nintendo keypad, and you were able to unlock levels, unlock game secrets. You play certain games in a certain way, and you were able to get secrets that way. Can't do it on these games like these that I've seen coming out with the discs. Oh, they do have their own cheat codes and their own immortality stuff. But I'm reminiscing because I'm an old fart reminiscing of my youth. I'm talking about it because I feel like I should have been out there with these kids, and yet I don't have the skills like I used to 30 years ago. I don't. I have the experiences, but that's about it. You have to show them, you have to train them, you have to demonstrate. All talk, all air, no substance. No wonder sometimes I'm envious of people who actually can play these games. Play attack games like Call of Duty. Similar to those. Special Ops or something else they got going on. They can go in the virtual realms and build things for themselves, or Warcraft and go Dungeons and Dragons on people. Me, I'm like one of those people who like to flight simulations. Like to fly. Ground forces, not exactly, but you have to have better eyesight and a bigger screen. And your eyes are constantly on the screen. And the thing is, you're paying the price when it comes down for carpal tunnel, tendonitis, and God knows what other kind of wrist issues you're going to have. Not to mention the eyesight and the ears. Because they all take a toll on you. Taking too many tolls like that. Stuck in my head too many damn computer screens growing up as a kid. People complained about people losing their eyesight in front of television screens. Well, they were right. The eye strain dealing with the radiation coming out from the screens back then, the old cathode ray tubes. And even with the digital screens, you're still dealing with that kind of situations, like dealing with this close up. Even at night. Or in a darker place. All the health issues. But the call, the scream to go back into action again. That's what reminded me too much of Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode in 7th season, where Kor, an only surviving Klingon of the old generation, Kang gone, Koloth gone, Kor was the only remaining that left. And he goes out in a blaze of glory. The songs are still sung about him. Actors are long dead who played those characters. Songs are still sung about him. But for the old who want to be remembered by the young, they want to go out in a blaze of glory. They want to prove that they had the mettle to do things. So we're in constant competition with the youth because they still want to prove their mettle. They want to prove that they actually have it. They want to see if they're still worth of something. If they still feel worthy of something or being something. And it's hard when you feel like you're not. It's very hard. Because now you're feeling like you're old and tied up and rejected like old things. Can't be refurbished. You're deteriorating. The only thing you could try to bring it back is your honor if you actually bust your ass for it. Miracle if you actually could do something like a John Glenn maneuver. An old Mercury astronaut who had never been through the Gemini mission, had never been through the Apollo or Skylab, but somehow coming back from politics. I mean, he was in the first American space. People thought he was going to be the first American space. Alan Shepard was, God rest his soul. Shepard didn't go through the Gemini, but he went through the Apollo and made a good mission out of it. But Glenn was in politics too much during that time. And he felt like during the 90s and 2000s, somewhere in there, he was going to go out with a blaze of glory on a shuttle mission. He had trained his body for that, trained his mind for it. He's just being a mission specialist. Not a pilot, but a specialist. But he wanted the feeling of going back into space again. And NASA allowed him that. They had an important mission to take care of, and other experiments to take care of. But they also want to find out how an old person would be able to deal with space. What better way of having an octogenarian, an old guy, a senior citizen, an original astronaut of the Mercury program, a living legend, an icon, a senator, going into space, seeing an elder statesman survive space. Because we also need to find out how the older people will survive in space. What things would be happening to a human body that they need to look out for. Especially if we're going out there in space and we need to know what's going on. But just for him being the oldest person out there in space, oldest human, let's make a clarification here. The oldest human. Screw the politics at this point over here. He's the oldest human out there. He still holds a record saying he's been dead for almost about a couple of decades already. So is his wife. God bless them both. And it's hard to see all the original astronauts go. All my heroes. But they needed to prove themselves that they were up to the task. And they were. So how would it be if I actually went back out there again and tried one more time? I would have to build myself up again. I've been playing a few games here and there in the cheat modes left and right, but under actual, even under cheat mode, you can still screw up. I've ordered a game, and I need to save up for a control for it, and I've got a walkthrough manual, so as soon as I know how to do this one, I'm going to play the game. First on a God mode, but then on a regular mode and see how things work out. And if I can play this game. Maybe there'll be a way. I'll be crashing and burning left and right, but at least I'll be able to give it a shot. I'm going head to head with a live person. I don't know. Where that's strange for me to be. But